Man, this thing is kind of cool. I feel like one of those influencers. So we were just talking about this, and we wanted to get it on recording before we forgot. The first step, or the first concern that one of our clients brought us, really most clients, is, can my house rent for such and such amount, or how much can my house rent for? And it's just such a loaded question. The question is seeming simple, but at the end of the day, it's really about how do you want to run your business, because every property is a small, hopefully simple business. And so when you're looking at market rate, below market rate, and above market rate, you'd be surprised by there's not a one-fits-all answer. More so, the risk and the rewards are just different. And depending on how you view real estate and how much time you want to spend in real estate dictates the road you take. So there's 3 roads. There's below market, at market, and above market rental prices. A great example of an above market rental price might be like an Airbnb example, higher rates than everyone else around you all the time because you don't need the money and you're not trying to have that investment be too loud. So the vacancy being a higher percentage annually is done on purpose in your example of above market rate, because when it is rented, you're getting paid for exactly the amount you're willing to give up that space, because you may use that cabin yourself 75% of the year and you're only trying to allow others to use it the other 25. Now, other investors would be more likely to say at market rate, and to go back into long-term rentals, you will look at it where you're always trying to get market rate 100% of the time, year after year, having no vacancies. And to do that is quite simple. Your normal property manager in your town can accomplish that, we'd like to think, and so can the typical investor. But it does come with a caveat, and if you want even lower risk, you might look at going below market rate for your rental, long-term or short-term. With long-term rentals, which is what I primarily focus on, really it's the only thing I focus on, we manage just over 187 units in Knoxville, Tennessee. We see where the landlords that choose at market or even slightly below market see their investment grow the way they perceived that real estate would go for them when they first got involved. And at market rate is a very standard experience, so I'd like to move forward and speak on below market rate and the benefits you get out of that, assuming you're only 5 to 10% below market rate compared to an out-of-touch landlord giving away their property at any level. When you're below market rate, the benefits that you get out of this is top-tier tenants for longer time period. So even if you were a successful property manager or landlord at market rate, you probably are going to have a little more vacancy and more volume of tenants over the decade. And with long-term rentals, you typically hold them 5 to 10 years minimum, if not for your entire retirement plan. And we can go into the positive play of debt on another video. But for a 10-year play, which is short and a long-term focused investment, you will have more tenants over time. And if you go back to the extreme example of just an Airbnb, whether below, at, or above market rate, you are renting out real estate more tenants. They're guests in that example, but you may have 365 different tenants / guests in a year to achieve 100% occupancy. In a long-term rental, I don't want to excuse or push away that having a tenant change every single year is abnormal, in my opinion, and also not the goal. Even if you were to get a well-qualified tenant every year, you may run into people that are pickier about certain things on the property or have different opinions of the property manager or landlord, and I'm sure you can infer more into that as this video is more focused on the generalized 3 options. Long-term rentals with below market rate, you're going to have less turnover of tenants with higher occupancy, which are 2 different variables. As I just explained, you can have low vacancy with high turnover, as in different tenants annually. And I like to find good tenants and encourage them to stay for as long as we can have them. My wife and I are still renters to this day in a luxury apartment in Knoxville, and they are below market rate for the price per square foot and the amenities. And we have signed lease extensions for 18 months. We're coming up on our 3rd or 2nd renewal, but we're going into our 4th year, I believe, at our rental. And it's really funny because it's just based on being below market rate, $100, $150 a month on a $1,800 a month rental, which we can do the math later and put below in the description. But we made this decision very easily every 12 to 18 months to renew, simply because we're below market rate. If we went to market rate, yes, we would move into maybe a primary location in Knoxville compared to the secondary location we're at right now, which is Oak Ridge. But at the end of the day, it's not worth it for us because the actual product that we're living in, I like to use the word product because it keeps us focused as a business owner instead of just an investor all the time, that our rental is perfect. High ceilings, everything's new, pool, weight room, amenities strong. We can walk to Starbucks. It has everything it needs. It's the only thing that it could improve on is location, which is simply us having to move. And so if you're looking over that and you're assuming that I'm a good tenant, which I'd like to think you believe I am, as I'm in real estate and I try to be easy as a customer, you'll notice that I'm staying where I am as a customer because of below market rates. And this is not from some little old lady or out of touch landlord that's giving me this deal. It was strategically done by the hedge fund or asset manager specifically of this location in Oak Ridge that decided to keep these units rented at this rate. And keep in mind, these units were built less than 3 or 4 years ago, so it's a new owner, may not be new in real estate, but a new building, and they are encouraged to optimize the return on this investment as strong as possible. So I know for a fact that will prove to all of us that there really are 3 roads in how to manage and play the game of long-term real estate.